From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In tonight's recording, we go over all the incredible great news as Bernie Sanders' office speaks out and thanks the viewers of the channel for your incredible advocacy to this process. We'll go over that $3.5 trillion recon passed. No less than 1, 2, 3 clusters that are now passed. We'll go over each of them at a time. Cluster number 1, hazard pay. $4,000 for elder care included. Cluster number 2, which includes paid leave. Cluster number 3, which includes money for seniors. No items are getting taken out, so says the progressives. But a new statement today from Maxine Waters calls into question that statement. Then we had the duration and taxes that can be modified on the back end to pay those money across the board. We have the Democratic leaders that say they're including that IRS stimulus checks, and now millions of viewers have made the phone call, and the advocacy has been heard loud and clear. We'll have the latest details as the debt ceiling limit has been solved, at least to December, and now we have a proposed date, not for a proposal, but for a vote, on your recon. Oh, wow. Can we get a surfboard, electric one with that as well? In this recording, we go over all the new breaking details today and also the big money for third stimulus. As one viewer heard my message loud and clear, and guess what? She got $6,000 this week that she didn't have at the start of the week. And I'm going to show you how to end the week with money in your hand as well, because this is what we do. This is a beautiful night, and I'm excited for you here, and this is Evenings LALATE. Having a beautiful night across the states. Hope you are good and safe where you are. It has been cooler here in Santa Monica, but hope the weather is good where you are. Jump to the live chat. So much happening tonight. We'll go over that monthly IRS stimulus check, the breaking details as Sanders' office thanks the viewers of this channel as 1 million. Yeah, you did hear that right. 1 million of you have made the call. We also have the great news coming in from one viewer from Chuck Schumer's office again, in no less than twice in 1 week, confirming the inclusion is going to be happening. We'll go over all these incredible clusters that are put in there. Clusters of fireworks? No, clusters of checks. Cluster number 1, including hazard pay. Cluster number 2, like home repairs and seniors, and then the monies and how they're going to modify it on the back end. We'll go over the latest details from this very strange twist that coming in from Maxine Waters, as there's money for rent in fourth stimulus. Wow, what are they going to do with that? And then meantime, can we get more money under third stimulus? You can. And in this recording, I'm going to show you how I want you to go into the weekend by getting lots of money. I'm going to show you how to get financial freedom from this channel, not a few $100s, thousands of dollars, because you need it. And I'm going to show you how to get that money right now. And this is LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record in 1 year. No channel, no place on the planet has more comprehensive broadcasting news and shows you how to get money like this channel. So I want you part of this incredible family. Stay with me all weekend long. There is going to be a lot of breaking news this weekend. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Evening's Countdown. This video automatically take you there. Let's go right to the big exciting breaking news tonight is that statement from Sanders' office to a viewer's channel. In the messaging, the viewer explains what she was told. The viewer explains that Sanders said the following. Sanders' top aide in D.C. This is not a staffer. This is not a secretary. This is not, someone that does the drapes. This is a top aide in Sanders' D.C. office. Said that through yesterday, Sanders' D.C. office has received nearly 1 million contacts from the people of LALATE and the Purple Power, and the advocacy is making the waves. This is the first time many of these elected officials and their staff have truly heard from the people, and Now they have not only heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to help get people out so that they can get hard work. Our advocacy has been so strong, so heartfelt, and so polite. And not just for ourselves, but also for our communities. Wow. We'll have more about that later in this video. And then also the incredible update from Chuck Schumer's office. That's coming up in a second. But let's first turn it to that $3.5 trillion recon pass. It passed on a House floor, on the Senate, House floor, 2 weekends ago, and they're going to be working on it tomorrow. I'll have the latest details tomorrow, so stay with me. Cluster number 1, let's start with it. Hazard pay and $4,000 for elder care included. Let's go over the details. First, they got hazard pay in there. Huge win for this channel because this was the biggest advocacy for hazard pay on the planet with no less than 300 videos every single day throughout 2020. They're going to broaden the earned income tax credit and make it broader and easier to qualify for it, and then have more money for those essential workers. And that is in that first cluster. Then up to $4,000 a year to care for the elderly. $4,000 a year to care for young children. Then $51,000 of MSCs, monthly stimulus checks, got in there. They took the CTC, the child tax credit, and broadened the eligibility and extended the payment times. So now up to $300 a month, every month for every year, up to 18 years. That's $51,000 a child while that household remains low income. Wow. Then they got home repairs in there if that house is in a low-income community. Free money to make those home repairs. College students got money, grants to them, to the university, and the Pell's grant made tax-free. And then they got money in there for electric items. Electric cars and trucks, all U.S. auto manufacture. How much? 15% off the purchase price of a new electric car. $7,500 off the purchase of a new electric vehicle. And then a little bit more if it's for business use or if it's a truck for business use as well. Wow, there you go. In a second, we're going to go into second cluster number 2's checks. But first, Maxine Waters. Yes, the representative here from Los Angeles issued a stern statement last night and covered again today on this channel. If you remember, you got the PDF on it. She said she does not want the $300 billion, you heard me right, that is dedicated and passed in that recon, the forced stimulus recon, taken out that is dedicated for rent. Oh, what? I did not know that there's $300 billion in the forced stimulus recon for rent. So remember, the third stimulus recon had $47 billion for rent. But now the remaining $13 billion has just been sent out to cities, counties, and across the country. And I told viewers like you to make the phone call. And one viewer this week made the phone call, and this is what happened. Her name is Prina, and she writes, "Hey, Ally, I want to thank you so much. When you mentioned that extra $13 billion is going out to the states, I automatically emailed them, and I said, I want to get that money. And then they sent me the application. I applied, and yesterday I got it. I got $6,000 from November to January, 8 months of rent. That's $6,000. Wow. I'm going to show you how to get this big sum of money. And other money's coming up later in this video. Stay with me. But time for that second cluster of checks. And that second cluster of checks starts with paid leave and other items. Let's go to that second cluster check starting right now. Home repairs and paid leave are among the 12 items in the second cluster checks. Remember, the recon is for everyone. SSI, SSDI, single people, non-employed people. And guess what? It has nothing to do with COVID. First, they got paid family leave and paid medical leave. What is this? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year, split in half. $800 a week if you make $35,000 a year, split in half. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. Family leave, you have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. Then they got other items in there like weatherizing your home. Definitely needed to weatherize your home, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. And wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There we go. They got also checks in there for household tax credits. Expansion of Medicare benefits. More about that later in this video. For seniors checks, dental, vision, and hearing. And then free community college and free pre-kindergarten. Wow. That free community college definitely needed because so many people always say, I understand you. So now my response is go take the class. It's called What the World is LATE Saying 101. It's the introductory class. Now, if you want to be fluent in that foreign language called Los Angeles, now you can take that class. It's called LA 202. There you go. In a second, we're going to go to the third cluster of checks. But what is Congress doing? Well, You know my favorite expression. In session. Yeah, in session. It sounds like a soap opera that's on set. In session. Well, guess what? Congress is not in session next week. But again, that does not mean they are off to the equator or Crayolaville. They are in the offices working. They are down the hall. And guess what? They're working all weekend long, not on Crayolaville. They're working on how to do the recon and modifications. I'll have a lot of breaking news all weekend long. So when are they back? Well, let me go over all the details. First, the Senate yesterday passed, voted and passed, an extension of the debt ceiling limit. Oh, wonderful. To December. Oh, horrible. Yeah, we got to go do this in just a few weeks from now. Yeah, so just a temporary fix. It go into a vote on the House floor. So Steny Hoyer, you're number 2 in the Senate, and number 2 in the House. He's the guy who tells you he's the calendar Colleen of the House. Is whatever happened to October? Well, he's bringing them back on October 12th. Steny Hoyer is bringing them back on October 12th to vote on the debt ceiling limit. So the other surprise is that the President, Nancy Pelosi, have now tentatively set Halloween as the deadline to call the vote on your recon. Yes. Now, let me make that very clear. The president and Nancy Pelosi, they're the subject of the sentence. They are the people, the pronoun, the names. Their names are not LA. They are indicating they're calling the vote on October 31st. Repeat, I am not saying the vote is on October 31st. I'm telling you what they're saying. So if they are out trick-or-treating on Halloween and you say, where's the vote? Go take their candy. There you go. That's their representation, not mine, because I know Calendar Colleen has had now calendar right next to goblins and ghouls is a picture of Mitch. So there we go. Let's cut to the third cluster of checks. I can't believe they put it for Halloween. It's a little bit, yeah. Okay, maybe I'll dress up as a stimulus check for Halloween. All right, here we go. Cluster number 3, seniors checks and free internet. Here we go. This is the third cluster checks, and these are deliciousness because guess what? They pay instantly. First, they got free school meals for all, checks. They got cheaper prescription medication. They got checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy. They got checks for workers like independent contractors, and they got checks for seniors, like lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, dental, vision, and hearing care. Someone asked me earlier today, what age are they proposing to lower it to? I don't know. I have to look it up. I really don't know. It's a brilliant question. So there you go. Those are the three clusters. Now, the big exciting news is really this is that in addition to that, those stimulus, in addition to those clusters, then we have the House members and the Senate members telling viewers of this channel, they are adding in those IRS stimulus checks monthly. Now, let me explain to you where and how they would add it and how this works. You have two opportunities. You have the House side and you have the Senate side. But before I get to that, let me explain to you what we have so far on the recon. The recon first is not yet a bill. Not a bill yet. We have an emoji for this. Not a bill yet. It's a package. When they passed it on the House floor 2 weeks ago, it was a package, meaning that it was not put to the House, the House subcommittee. It was not put to the House floor. If it was on the House floor, it would be a bill. It was the House subcommittee. It's a package. And so with that package, they say we can add stuff to it. So first opportunity is the House members can add stuff to the package, like an AOC Omar, Joe Alapal, Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the Progressives, or Nancy Pelosi. Then the senators have the opportunity to add it in there when they have it during the 2-day vote-a-rama. What is the vote-a-rama? It's a 2-day event in which the senators receive what's passed by the House, and they look at it and say, I don't like muddled. This color doesn't work for me. Take it out. I don't do teal. Take it out. It has to be purple. So they amend whatever is in there. Who determines when they vote for the amendment? What time of the day is the amendment? Which amendment goes first? Chuck Schumer. And which member of the senators told a viewer yesterday that he's putting in an IRS stimulus check provision and told Donnie's wife the same message last week? Chuck Schumer. Oh boy, that's a biggie. the number one guy that determines when the amendment would go for that stimulus check is Chuck Schumer. And here comes Demi's comment from yesterday. I called the offices of Warren, Schumer, and Sanders and was told that a fourth stimulus check is going in there. Okay, this is getting exciting. I got more about these incredible details and more about that incredible message from Bernie Sanders' office and what you need to do going forward. We got those details and more as we go into a big night with a lot of fireworks and a lot of clusters. And the clusters start, wow, it's a cluster of fireworks. I love that graphic. And we got more of that coming up. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now, direct from Santa Monica on Evenings LALATE as the excitement unfolds. For more about those details of that recon. We'll be going over more about that fourth stimulus check of 2021, the latest details of those clusters, and how they keep clusters in there but modify the back end. It's fascinating. It all concerns your money because every cluster has a fortune of checks in there. I'll explain. Oh boy, that was a wipeout by that surfer. I'll explain all the incredible details in this recording. Then we'll be cutting to third stimulus that has so much money across the board. I'm excited for you to get this big money and to go in the weekend and just have financial freedom across the board. Then we turn to a little bit back to what's going on this weekend and more. And then, of course, the exciting details of that statement from Bernie's office. Wow, we got more on this. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is our new hit show, Evenings Countdown. This video will automatically take you there. You don't have to lift a finger. Sort of like Ted Cruz. There you go. Just sit back and do nothing. And if you're Joe Manchin and saw that picture on the internet, he went like this. You could just don't cover up your eyes. I don't want you to miss the video when it starts. And there you go. So subscribe, like the video, and consider becoming a member. Meantime, let's go to the big surprise of that changing event that no one saw coming. The details is the following. Well, Bernie Sanders' office, his top aide in D.C., having a follow-up conversation with a viewer yesterday. And the conversation was about us, about you, about me, about this channel. And they said, they've been getting your messages, keep on delivering them. Here's what the message said. Sanders said, the aide, this is what viewer wrote and respond in describing the conversation with the aide, that through yesterday, they had received in Sanders' office nearly 1 million contacts from the people of LALATE and the Purple Power. The advocacy is making waves, meaning that the congressional offices of senators are hearing this. They're all hearing these calls from you directly or hearing about them from the other offices next door. This is the first time that many of these elected officials and their staff have truly heard from the people. As I said, they don't usually hear from you. This is why advocacy works. They don't know what you want or what you desire unless you speak up. And now they not only have heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to help the people so much and do the good work. Our advocacy has been so strong, so heartfelt, and so polite, not just for ourselves, but also our communities. Wow. So let's go over all the incredible details of this starting right now. It's no less than 8 weeks ago that I told viewers this channel to pick up the phone and advocate, and WR did. He advocated. He called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, and advocated for the inclusion of that IRS stimulus check. And Coons' office said yes. And there we go. Coons is one of the oldest confidants of Joe Biden. Then, 3 weeks ago, you saw this channel really pick up. A lot of exclusives, a lot of breaking news. News cycle changing quickly, a lot of exclusives. I told you that the bill, the recon, would be drafted in the House subcommittee, not the Senate. It was. I told you the House subcommittee would vote first. They did 2 weeks ago. And then I told you Bernie Sanders is important to the equation, and he is. That same week, Bernie Sanders issued a statement which was big. He said that unlike prior Senate budget chairman, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm doing a recon. Listen to those words. It means he wants to hear from you. So I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And you did. Brother Joshua, Lynn, Glenn, and Margaret all did and picked up the phone and called Sanders' office and advocated. Now let's go over what advocacy looks like and what advocacy is not. Advocacy involves telling your story to the listener why you need the money. It involves a series of sentences, all that end with periods, not with question marks. It involves you telling your unique story, because everyone does have a unique story. Maybe it's something financial, or business, or medical related, or personal related. I need the money because my family needs it, because my church needs it, because this is why my town needs it, because this is what's going on with my city, my community, my leg, my arm, my medical condition, my financial condition. I need to tell you why I need this. A person on the other side of the receiving line may never have visited your town. They may not even know your town exists, but they can certainly understand a story. They can certainly understand your narrative and what you have to bring to the phone call. And that's why they have been so impressed for you. It was weeks ago I said if you did this, they would talk about you. And that other offices would continue to say, have you gotten those phone calls from LA viewers? Now that's happening. Over 1 million phone calls, and now they're talking about you and how you've done such a great job in advocating for money that you need. Now, what is not advocacy? What is not advocacy is what I call Dora the Check Explorer. Calling up and just having a lot of questions and using the purpose of the phone call for you to find out what day you're getting a check in your hand. No one wants to receive that phone call, and they certainly don't want to receive 1 million of them. Dora the Check Explorer, the way she talks is, when am I getting something? Is it going to be $1 or is it going to be $2? What day is it coming? When is the bill vote? When are they voting? When am I getting the money? It will be monthly? No, that's not advocacy. That's not advocacy. That's calling up and looking for something, and the response will be nothing. Now, a very confused Dora, the Check Explorer, would even say something like, is it in the bill now? No, we don't have a bill now. We don't even have a bill finished. We have a reconciliation package that's having stuff added to it. So let's go back to what Brother Joshua, Lynn, Glenn, and Margaret did. They advocate. They picked up the phone, and boy, did they advocate. Brother Joshua advocated for himself, his family, his church, his community, and you. He's a 2020 volunteer to the community page, and Sanders' office said yes. $1,000 or $1,300, 3 to 6 months. But Sanders needs to hear from you. That was what Sanders' staff said. And with that, the message just kept on coming on in. Viewers started advocating, and it started with Donnie. You just met his wife. Well, let's meet Donnie. Here, going to get some screen grabs of what some of the viewers wrote, and let's look and see what Donnie wrote in that message to this channel. Here is what Donnie wrote about his interaction. Donnie says the following. I called Bernie and I spoke to the secretary, and they said they're doing a stimulus check. I said I need it for my city, my county, my home. I need it for my water. I need it for everything. And then here, Hurricane Tina picked up the phone and advocated and was told, Hurricane Tina writes, I was told they're putting a forced stimulus check in there. Here's Carolyn Smith, who writes, I called up, I said people are losing their homes and what they got and everything they got. They said they're putting it in there. Here is Lori, who advocated as well. Here is also Yaya, who picked up the phone and advocated to Ron Wyden's office, and they said they're putting it in there. At that point, we understood that it's important to send your advocacy as many places you can send it. Remember, you're telling a story. It's sort of like a novel. If you want a lot of people to know about your novel, then you say it to a lot of people. And that is why calling more than one office helps. And that's what Will did. He writes, I called Bernie, I called Liz, I called Chuck. I told them my situation, how a stimulus check would make a huge impact, and all three of them confirmed it's going in there. Liz Warren told him it's going to be, Liz Warren's staff told him it's going to be $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. Lorica picking up a phone and advocating as well, and Lorica getting Bob Casey's on the office on the phone, and them saying it's going in there as well. At that point, we had no less than 1,000 viewers of this channel getting the same advocacy message across, delivering their advocacy, and also being told it will go in there from those senators. Coon, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden, all representing, they're going to put it in there. At that point, I said, well, also push with the House side, AOC, Omar, and Jalapal. And now I also add Sheila Jackson to the list. Well, Mark made the call over to Pelosi's office, and they said, yeah, it's going in there. He advocated. So did Lynn Glenn. She also advocated a lot of different places. She advocated at Jalapal's office. Same message going in there. And same message from Omar's office when Ida called. It's that type of advocacy that works. And now let's turn to really what happens next. Now that we have all these clusters in there, then what happens well after that? Remember, we have two opportunities for them to add IRS stimulus checks, which is on the House side or the Senate side. House members can add it by adding it to the package, add it as another cluster, or the senators can add it during the two-day vote-a-rama at the end. Either or, and you want both sides to be in your corner and helping you for that across the board. Now let's turn to what they're doing on that recon, the whole package of the recon. All the items are staying in place, so says the progressives. No item is being reduced, so says the progressives, and that the changes will happen on the back end, like duration and taxes. Okay, let me explain what all this stuff is, and the new comments from Maxine Waters today. So, the progressives have said that if there's a program in the recon, it is not coming out of the recon. AOC, Omar, Jalapal, Pelosi, Bernie, Liz all say if a program's in there, it is not coming out from the recon. Moreover, they also say if a program's in there, it's not getting watered down. So says Sheila Jackson, all the rest of them. So for example, up to $4,000 a year to care for an elderly person, they're saying it's not coming out. They also say it's not getting reduced to $200 a year from $4,000. So why did Maxine Waters write that letter? Because inevitably, some progressives fear that maybe someone may go after a particular program they want in there. Now, under third stimulus, rent got $47 billion. Now, Maxine Waters got in the recon passed a provision that provides $300 billion to housing on things like rent. And a new article out today that had a quote from Lisa Rice, who's president of the National Fair Housing Association Alliance, explain how people are really trying to protect everything that's in the recon from not getting anything removed or reduced. We have all these coalitions of industry groups who are trying to beat down the White House to make sure that everything in the recon bill stays there. Well, there you go. Now let's turn to the back end changes and how they do them and how it doesn't impact you at all if that's where they make the changes. Front of the house, the front of the bill, $4,000 a year to care for an elderly person. That's money to you. That's the front of the bill. Back of the bill, how are we paying for that program? That is where they can make the modifications. The first one is duration. The second one is taxes. All right, duration, I delivered this news about almost a week ago. I said, I think they can change duration and get this done. And then Jalapal 2 days later said, I think we can change duration and get this done. Thanks for tuning in, Jalapal. So let me explain to you why it was not sort of hard to predict that statement from Jalapal. Because Bernie Sanders did this in July. Back in July, before we had anything for a recon, Bernie Sanders had multiple meetings with all the Senate Democrats saying, let's do a recon. Okay, what money do you want? What number you want, Bernie? I want $7 trillion. No, we're not going to do $7 trillion. Come up with another number. Okay, I'll do $3.5 trillion. Okay, fine. And so all the Democratic senators, including those two, agreed to a $3.5 trillion. That became recon procedural. They called it for a vote on the Senate, pass. Called for a vote on the House floor, pass. Became law. So now what they're doing is recon substantive, where they're going over how to spend the money in the $3.5 trillion. Now, here is how Bernie got from 7 to 3.5, and why I knew Jalapal could say On this modification now, we could again change duration. Bernie got from 7 to 3.5, half the number, by changing duration. Here's an example. I'm just using example of numbers. I'm not saying these are the numbers he did, but I'm just using an example of how this would work. Let's say he went into the meeting asking for 20 years of $4,000 a year to care for up to $4,000 a year to care for the elderly. They said, no. Okay, I'll split the duration in half. So the program will run 10 years instead of 20 years, but I'm still going to pay up to $4,000 a year to the elderly. Deal done. So he, in essence, got the same payout to you, the same amount to you, the program fully funded. That was the quotes he said after those negotiations were done. He just got the duration brought in tighter, less years across the board. So why did I think Jalapa was going to say this, or someone's going to say this? Because I thought they're going to just do it again. Here's an example of how the math works so simple and so easy for you on this. Let's say Bernie brought the money for the elderly from 20 years to 10 years, and that became 3.5. Well, they could take it from 10 years to 7 years. You're taking 30% off of the program because you're taking 3 years out of a 10-year program out. So it's a 7-year program instead of a 10-year program. Pretty simple. Yeah. But you're still getting up to $4,000 a year. It's just each year, the program only runs 7 years. So you only get potentially 7 years of this money instead of potentially 10 years of the money. Now, Jalapal made a fascinating comment about this, which is, if the program is successful and people really like it, then it'll be easy to extend the program. And that's very much the case. You've seen over the last year that when I've run videos about stuff that were existing, it was very easy for Congress to just extend it. Very hard to start with new stuff. New stuff is always sort of the hard jump across the board. All right, now let's turn to the second way they can modify the back end, which is a little bit more strange. There's a new article about this out tonight. And this is raising taxes. They're raising corporate taxes and raising wealth taxes on billionaires. Now, here's what the new article said. Even if we're going to raise less, even if the recon gets a little bit smaller, because we don't need as much taxes, we don't want to not get these billionaires who aren't paying their fair share of taxes to still not pay their fair share of taxes because we didn't do as much recon as we wanted. So this is a very interesting tug and pull that they still want to change these tax codes, whether or not they use all the money exactly for the recon. Very, very fascinating across the board. Now, let's go to the twists and turns about the dates. Because, where are they? My favorite cast of characters. I was just thinking about her just a second ago. You know who I'm thinking about, not Nancy. You know who I was thinking about just a second ago. I just, there she is. Whatever happened? Whatever happened to July? Whatever happened to August? Well, now you can say, whatever happened to September? She could say, it's September, no calendar, Colleen. It's October now. So guess what? Calendar Colleen has that calendar ready because Nancy and Joey gave us a date. At the moment, they represent, not me, that there will be a potential vote on your recon and roads and bridges by October 31st. Halloween. I could make so many jokes about this, but I'm trying not to. So they represent that's when the vote would happen. Remember, that would mean, let's look at work schedule. First time you're hearing this really on Evenings LA, is that, that would really only give them a good week to get all these changes on the recon finished. Maybe 2 weeks. I mean, it's very tight. It's very, very tight. So your pushing is needed right now at this very moment. All right, let's go into third stimulus. And the big exciting details is that there is so much money for you to get for third stimulus, and I want you to get that money for third stimulus. What I teach on this channel is financial freedom, financial independence. I want you to get money because money is money. No, money is money. If you got money in the bank account because it came for rent, you don't care what the money looks like so long as it's green and there's a lot of it. So I'm going to show you how to get big money right now. We're going to get a lot of it. When you get money, you can get right now from different places, different items, all people, single workers. There was someone on one of the chats earlier today said, there's no money for people who work. Absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. So wipe away all those fictitious storylines of there's no money unless you wear is it, what do we call the shirt? There's always, lilac. Yeah, that's lilac, the fascinating word people use. I just call it purple. Lilac. There's always a strange narrative of why people think they don't qualify for things. You do. So get that pen, paper, cell phone ready. You can get the big money right now. We start with rent, then utilities and mortgage assistance. I got more after that, money after that. All right, first, I show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different pots of money. They have different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Second, remember, the keywords I say in this video are very critical. And number 3, I'm going to show you the nonprofits. Reach out to the nonprofits because the nonprofits really do wonders. All right, here are the 6 places you reach out to. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Now, do what that wonderful viewer did, exactly what I said over the last week. I said, if you're a member of this channel, before you make the call for rent, open the newsletter and read the article from Treasury that describes the $13 billion. As Prino writes, thank you, LA. When you said that there was an additional $13 billion, I automatically pounced and emailed them. So she read what it was, she pounced, and she reached out to them and got that big money. So I want you to know what that money is before you make the phone call, because ultimately they'll play dumb. They'll say, I don't know about this. And then you'll be like, this thing, oh, yeah, we do have it. Well, why didn't you say that initially? Yeah, they always do that, don't they? All right, now let's turn to the nonprofits. 5 nonprofits, and they pay for the same items that are in third stimulus. The only difference is they're nonprofits, so their eligibility is totally different. If you have an eligibility problem at all because of city, county, and state, then reach out to the nonprofits. Here are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next thing to remember is that the nonprofits pay for totally different things that third stimulus doesn't pay for. So, homeless people in the shelters paid for. Sometimes money for clothing, sometimes money for food, sometimes money for small appliances like refrigerators and furnaces, sometimes for certain utility bills, and also sometimes for things like small home repairs like broken windows and things like that. So here again are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, SNAP. Have you gotten SNAP? If you haven't, what are you doing? Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. SNAP is money for food, and you get it from Department of Agriculture. And yes, it's going up an average of 25% lifetime, automatically, nationwide, starting in October. I can't believe that this channel, because I make recordings, families are getting $26,000 a year because of me. It's just lifetime. It's just overwhelmingly just a wonderful sense of achievement to have helped a family like that. I can't imagine it. So please go get that money. Next, let's go over the unemployment benefits. Coming back from your state due to overpayment and computer error? Yeah. Average payment is about $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state. And then the refund check from IRS, anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it. Go get it. That is coming by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. All right, finally, if you're on the live chat, post your success stories, whatever they are, because when you do, you inspire someone else to get that big pot of money. And lastly, if you've not become a member, what are you doing? The link is under the video. About 2 hours after this video is over, the member newsletter goes out at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. It delivers all the breaking news of the money that is available in the first, second, and third stimulus for you to get, and everything that's proposed on the fourth and fifth stimulus. I want you to make a series of promises to yourself. I want you to be the next Johnny. Johnny started 1 week on this channel with getting nothing yet from this channel, 0. By the middle of the week, he was at 40,000 with 4 items. By the weekend, he was at 7 items at $80,000. Yes, Johnny started the week at 0 and got $80,000 from this channel. Mark got $50,000. Mark turned around and helped 2 other people. They each got $55,000. Lorraine got $105,000. Johnny helped 2 other people. They got collectively $100,000. I want you to get this big sum of money. That's the first thing. Number 2, I want you to get the money as far into 2022 as possible. Just like the viewer out of Austin, she did that exactly. We don't know, as Maxine Waters talks about, we don't know if this money for rent will be continued under fourth stimulus. It's available now. We don't know if it's going to be back, this money for rent and other items, under third stimulus, under fourth stimulus. Number 3, the nonprofits. It's not that cold outside yet. And because of that, the nonprofits are doing great turnaround times from United Way and Salvation Army. Viewers reporting big success stories on rent. When it gets cold, they get a lot of calls, and then they don't respond as quickly to you. So call them now and get these monies as far into the future. And get as many items as you can. Don't settle at one. Keep on pouncing. Margaret, she's got some different little items all across the board on this channel. I think it was like 4 or 5 different items. She got another item the other day, just another $500. Finally, if you need holiday gifts, reach out to Salvation Army now. They do them now. Don't wait till December. Go ahead of time. And with that, we got so much coming up later today. We have evening's countdown. That comes up right after this video. Just click on this button. It'll take you automatically there. And then we got shows at 6 o'clock, shows at 7 o'clock. Stream Simulus, 8 o'clock, Sirloin, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11:30, and then we return tomorrow morning. So much across the board, and I'm excited to stay with you. So stay with me all weekend long, because guess what? It was on a Saturday that the recon passed, and it could be on a Saturday in which modifications of the recon could pass. So you do not want to miss anything across the board. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. Reckon I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and keep it smiling, keep it motivated, and keep it with LALATE.